All right, so the next question asks you to explain what is meant by the fluid mosaic model of a membrane. All right, well, we're basically just going to break this model, the terms down here. So first one is fluid. So first of all, membranes, biological membranes, they are mobile. Molecules are able to flow past one another within the membrane. So these membranes are not static structures. So the lipids, the proteins that are bound within them are able to move from one point to another. Now, they may not be able to move everywhere in the cell, and there's a lot of factors that can actually restrict some of the fluidity or the localization of different proteins in the membrane. But regardless, as a whole, the membrane is a fluid structure with molecules, a lot of, sorry, maybe not most, a lot of molecules, especially the lipids, able to diffuse freely throughout that membrane. Now, the mosaic part, right? Mosaic is basically a collection, right, of different components that are all kind of put together to make an image. Now, basically, our membrane is not a homogeneous mixture, right? There are a whole host of different proteins. These proteins are scattered throughout the membrane. Some of the proteins in the membrane might be localized to a specific region of the membrane, whereas others are able to diffuse more freely throughout the entire membrane structure. So what is meant by this is basically that the membrane, cell membrane, is basically, it is a fluid that has different types of particles in it. It has proteins, it has lipids, it has sugars hanging off some of the proteins and lipids. And they're able to freely diffuse for the most part, and you end up with kind of a heterogeneous mixture in this membrane because there are certain proteins and certain lipids that will tend to aggregate and congregate in certain regions as opposed to other regions of the membrane. And that's what's meant by the fluid mosaic model of a membrane.